Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/zip to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
This is Andy Betterman of the local law firm Greenberg & Betterman. If you've been injured in an auto accident or through medical malpractice, we're here to help you in the District, Maryland, and Virginia. Get a free consultation by visiting gblawyers.com and feel better.
WTL. It's time! WTL.
I think we got a show. Oh, yeah, we got a show.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by the J.O. Oh, fresh off a new Laugh With Me. Really enjoyed that, talking about the movies, the Oscars. And your co-host, that's insane. He actually admitted, I've spent about half my life watching over 2,000 movies. I thought that was insane.
It's wild, and he keeps track of them all.
Yeah.
You can find him on his Letterboxd at Buy This Vacuum. Incredible. He watches so many movies.
Hey, like we're sickos when it comes to, baseball or football. He's a sicko when it comes to movies.
Oh, yes.
So who do you want to talk to when you're trying to project who's going to win, who's going to lose, what directors are hot?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, him and I, we're probably 20 years deep into, like, head-to-head competing on Oscar night, right? Like,
wow.
Picking the winners. He's really good. I mean, it makes sense that he watches all the movies. He kind of has a feel for what's going on. But, he's got his finger on the pulse. When
you were interviewing him, I really enjoyed his answers because they were just so, like, down to earth. You know how, like, coaches will kind of talk down to you or analysts on CBS or whatever. They'll start using new terms like, what are they talking about? And I just feel like it's just them trying to, like, kind of put you in your place and let you know that they're the authority. He would give an answer like, well, I just really like it, and I think that's going to work. I think that's good. Like, okay, you got me. I cannot argue with that whatsoever. So that was a good one to check out. And now I am intrigued. I got to go see F1.
So good.
Yeah?
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt is incredible in that movie. It's not, if you like Moneyball.
Yeah, I love Moneyball.
Then you're going to absolutely love this movie.
We got Oakland Athletics right here in front of us that represent that movie.
I forgot. Yeah.
That book. I've read it twice.
Have you really? I just bought it for my son. And
really?
He's hyped. Yeah, he's seen the movie, but he's like, I want to read the book.
It's such a good book and a story, and he's an accomplished author where there's a lot of spin-offs. Like, I just saw one the other day that that book that's what caused inflation. Moneyball is why a pack of Twizzlers has gone up 300% over the last 2.5 years.
Moneyball.
Yeah. So like that's how impactful the way that the Oakland or former Oakland Athletics ran their organization. They find those little creases, those edges, and I guess even Big Candy is out there like, hey, how are they able to do that?
Then how are we allowing Billy Beane to still be employed? I mean, this man has cost us a lot of money.
I guess so. That's why a Ford Lightning, where it can only hold a charge for half an hour, but that's why it costs over $100,000 to buy a crappy pickup truck nowadays.
Wow.
Billy Beane's fault.
Billy Beane. He's, he is now an enemy of mine. Like
he always was, wasn't he?
I went into today respecting the man, and now I have no idea where I stand.
One of the things I always found interesting with old Billy Beane was, he has great self-awareness, but where he is not going to give up Twinkies or his junk food. He's going to drink a Coke, and then he's going to spend an extra half an hour on the treadmill. I'm so polar opposite of that. I'm like, I hate treadmills. I hate working out. I just will not drink a Coca-Cola.
Oh, so you'll just give up the vice?
Yes, I'll give up the vice, so then I don't have to work my butt off on the other end.
Is there anything like I love the white can monster? You know, I love that white can monster. Like I just won't not have it. I love it. Is there anything in your life? It doesn't have to be a drink. Is there anything that you're like, this is part of my life routine and I will not change for it?
You know, geez, I don't know about that. I suppose there has to be some out there.
Got to be something.
Maybe crappy beer. Like I got a soft spot for light, crappy beers. And I know it. I know that these are bad for me, taste bad. There is no taste, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just kind of I grew up around it.
Yep. There's something to that because, you know, there's beers I enjoy more than, you know, a Budweiser. But I grew up drinking Budweiser, and I just freaking love it. I'll continue to have it.
And no matter what they do or what they say, there's nothing more American than just cracking a Budweiser and flipping meat cooking on an open flame.
Oh, man.
Like just that's it. That's the American dream. We've done it.
We have done it.
We've done it.
Is it spring yet? Like, you got me excited now.
Yes, it is. It is March. This is our first full episode in the March realm. So we got to talk about someone else that's doing it right now, and that is the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Oh, go Big Red, baby.
Go Big Red, indeed. Took care of USC. You know, a little shaky there in the first half. Mm-hmm. It also poured a lot of fuel on the flame that we've been fanning this entire season, and that is how important Sam Hoiberg is. Got in foul trouble in that first half. Team really didn't have any direction. We saw some turnovers. USC got out and was speeding things up on the Huskers. They were dictating pace. Kind of focusing on this game because it's top of mind and top of this conversation. I wanted to get in with you on this. People are trying to compare who's more important, Sam Hoiberg or Price Sanford to the Huskers.
Oh, it's got to be Sam Hoiberg, right? I mean, he's the glue guy.
The glue guy.
He's the guy that kind of, you know, sets the pace, sets tempo. He just does everything.
Well, yeah.
For the team. And you, that perfect example what you just brought up was that first half in USC. Down 6, down 8, whatever it was at the half, and they had their guy sitting on the bench, 2 fouls early. You know, I was asked, does this Husker team have a weakness? Like, what are their weaknesses? And I'm like, yeah, their weaknesses if some of their glue guys are out. Hoiberg's a great example.
Yeah.
Suddenly they're a different squad. So I don't know. To me, it's Hoiberg.
Yeah, you know, and that's the common theme that I'm hearing from people around Nebraska is, well, it's Hoiberg, but everyone also agrees that, well, Price is going to get all the accolades as far as being first team Big Ten, which I think he should be a shoo-in for that.
Yes, he should. Top
2 or 3 team in the league. He's also one of the top scorers, knocking down over 18 points per game. And those guys you just cannot replace. Like all these other things, you know, making the hustle play, I get it and how important that is. I really do. That was my role, right? I'm not going to undersell myself. But those guys that can score. And there were times throughout the season where Nebraska couldn't score and Price would knock down a big 3 and keep it on track or keep them within striking distance to where they could put together a 22-game winning streak. You need those guys that can average 20 points per game, knock down a big 3, get to the rim, and that's what Price has been able to do throughout this entire season. And that's why you're seeing the national pundits say, like, yeah, all that's great, and the passing and the hustle and glue guy, you know, and everyone's, and we mentioned it last week, everyone's careful not to just put Sam in this gym rat box.
Yes.
You know, and deservedly so. But I still think that elite scoring, it's something that I just hold in such high regard. I mean, I'll go back to that. I couldn't do it.
Right.
So I'm looking to these guys that can play that 4, that can play the 3, can play point if you need him to, and Price Sanford.
Well, everything always goes back to football, right? And you've got 2 types of quarterbacks. You got the quarterback who's just going to take care of business. He's going to light up the scoreboard. He's going to get his stats and get all the credit, you know, when things go right. Mm-hmm. And then you got the quarterback that just wins, and he just plays by the system. He's boring, right? He's not necessarily going to get all the credit, but he's doing things behind the scenes, and they win.
Yeah.
I think that's what you have here. I mean, you've got 2 guys that just play their roles.
Yeah.
And boy, I tell you what, if there's a team in the state of Nebraska that could use a guy who just goes and scores, it's Creighton is a great example because when you don't have that, then here's what you have is the 2025-26 Blue Jays. Nebraska's got it this year, and to your point, I mean, maybe he's the guy.
Yeah, when Fran McCaffrey got fired from Iowa, Happy Fran, that's my nickname for him, Happy Fran. And everyone was just pillaging their team and their roster. Nebraska definitely. I mean, Dix is a great player, and he's been through a lot, right? Give him his credit, give him his due. But Sanford was the guy, and it's the guy that really fit for Nebraska.
Yes, he was.
And it's I'm going back to it. Is that elite scoring? And I think the thing that's most special about this Husker team, it takes all these guys. And I'm not just talking starting 5. I'm going all the way down to 8, 9. These are all, you could say, role players that fill their role and do it at a phenomenal level. And I don't know if B1G would be as good as he is if it weren't for Mass. I don't think Mass would be near as good as he is if it weren't for Hoiberg. I just heard our buddy Mitch Sherman talk about this discussion on 1620 The Zone, where he made the case, look, I don't think Sanford might have that many points if it weren't for Sam driving in and kicking out at such an elite level.
Correct.
And that is correct.
Yep.
But so it all plays into itself. So I think that's a big reason why you're seeing such a special season for the Huskers. And you mentioned the Blue Jays. They're still in contention to be a middle-of-the-pack team in the Big East tournament, either a 6 or a 7 seed, so they could still make some noise there. But, man, it's going to be a tough road to hoe. But they're missing a couple of these pieces. And I think you can start with a guy like Sanford. They need that elite scoring. And just guys like Jason Green, they're just not that.
No, and he's playing out of position. I mean, they don't have a guy down in the paint, taking care, getting dirty, getting rebounds, playing defense, kicking it out when needed. I mean, you've got Jason Green doing that and trying to be a scoring machine. And he's hurt.
Yeah.
It's been a heck of a year for him, and he's playing his butt off, but that's just not the fit.
Yeah. And going back to Nebraska, that's if they do struggle, it's when they play one of these teams that does have a big guy.
Correct.
Reminiscent of the guy that we're talking about that's playing for the Charlotte Hornets right now in Kalkbrenner. B1G, he's not as thick as some of those guys from Purdue or Illinois. Mast, obviously, when it's a big deal that he dunked the basketball in the game.
Yeah.
When you're center.
When it's headline news, notifications on your phone.
When Barstool picks it up and retweets it, and look at this! Look at the Huskers have arrived.
To your point though, like about how deep this squad is, that's why in 20 years it's not going to be bring back just Sam Hoiberg or whoever. They're going to bring back the entire squad to be recognized because this team's doing things and. It's ultimately very well could end in program history with a win in March.
You make a great point there, and that's where I don't want people to get off track, where we're trying to poke holes and figure out what's wrong, what's missing. Enjoy this run. Enjoy this ride. I've never been this excited heading into March as a Husker fan. Yeah. And there's a lot of good reason for that, and we're going to get into that here in a segment or two. We're going to be talking Big Ten tournament heading into March Madness. That is the NCAA tournament. But you heard the horn. That means we're up against it. But we got to take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, NordVPN. Browse, work, and play online with confidence thanks to their world-class cybersecurity. Shield your online activities, hide your virtual location, and block everyday internet threats with NordVPN. Hey, receive up to 77% off when using our WTL link found there in the description below. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
WTL.
All right, nice, huh? Got a talk show here, talk show with my mic. I got everything.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. You know what that stands for. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
The J.O.
hailing out of Omaha, Nebraska. It's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
It is good to be
Feels
back.
good.
And we talked a little bit of March, and we're going to talk a lot more March heading forward, and for good reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Huskers balling out.
Man, I still can't believe it. Like, it's not normal to think about the Huskers and how well they're doing.
You made a great point on X a couple weeks ago where the headline was getting buried out there, and it was that this court was stormed due to Nebraska losing.
Yes.
An opposing team stormed the court after dropping to a top 10 ranked Nebraska Huskers.
I'd love to get used to that.
Yeah,
I
right?
would love to get used to that.
Be up on your out in the West Hills, up on your perch there, like, oh yeah, they're storming the court again. We lost another game.
That's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do when we roll in. And by the way, another back in the top 10 are the Huskers.
Yeah, so that was nice to see because a week ago, despite still maintaining a good spot with wins and losses in the week and some teams around them losing, they dropped to 12. It was nice to see them pop up back to 9.
Yep. And also, like, these couple of losses are to highly ranked teams.
Yes.
Mostly on the road. It's like, these aren't bad losses.
And outside of Iowa, and you could argue that Iowa is conference game, rival, those are different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, they haven't lost those games you don't lose. Like, it's only been top talent they've lost, and they're close games.
Now, this is a spot that I am comfortable in. Like, how do I give Iowa their flowers but still talk trash? Like, I need them to be good, to validate the loss. But, how do you, so
I tell you,
that's our wheelhouse.
I've been living for a while now of I will always talk trash about Iowa no matter what.
You've been there. You lived there, right?
I did.
Yeah.
And even when I was in the trenches, I made sure to make sure people knew where I stood. But here's the thing. I'm at the point now where I feel like we need to back off the trash talk a little bit because they've owned us so long.
Right.
And I'm like, we got to flip the tide somehow. And if that means I have to be a little more humble, I'm going to do my best.
You are a consummate team player.
Yes.
Team red all the way.
That's what you can do. Everybody's got to do their part, right?
So we're talking March. Yes, everyone's doing their part, thrown in. But March, also the Underwear Olympics. The NFL doesn't give an inch to anybody any time of the year. It doesn't matter. And now we got to talk NFL Combine, movers and shakers. And this is a curious spot here for people like us that want to talk sports betting. The books have lost their shorts over the last couple of years when it comes to the NFL draft. They can't make a line sharp enough to get this right. And this is where we're going to dive right into it and create that value and hopefully set some plays out there to make people some money.
Now, did you watch the NFL Combine?
I watched some highlights begrudgingly. Okay.
I did the same. I watched highlights, but there was one point I think it might have been Saturday. I did watch quite a bit of Combine. And it's, I don't know, it's interesting. I watched the Olympics, and there's some, there's some like meat behind there. There's some meat on the bone. And I watched the exact same thing in the NFL Combine. And to your point, it's the Underwear Olympics.
It is.
Yes.
It is the Underwear Olympics. And they just line them up there and like, tweet, your turn. Okay, jump. Oh, good jump. Wow. Okay, now your turn. Get up there. It's like, what are these kindergartners? The kindergarten, what is that, track day?
Track day, yeah, field day. Yeah.
Don't run against each other. We're going to get you one at a time and make sure that Microsoft Copilot ad is right over here. Yep, we got it framed up. There we go. Microsoft Copilot. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
In conjunction with the NFL.
It seems like it as silly as all that is, there's like these metrics like the 40-yard dash, so freaking important in this, and people's like their draft stock will go up or down. There was a couple of guys, Brennan Thompson, wide receiver from Mississippi State, 4.26 40-yard dash.
Awesome.
Couldn't tell you a thing about his season.
Right.
But I know that his 40-yard dash was a 4.26. Pretty impressive.
Yep.
And teams should probably keep an eye on him. Like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, like he should not be a fourth rounder. This guy's a first rounder. What?
What? Yeah.
He ran a 4.2. Something you never do during a play in the NFL.
Yes.
So that takes me right to my number one overall play that I want to really hammer home on people. I don't want to talk about one specific player, which we'll get into some names here, but fade the Combine hype. Yep. If you want to bet this thing and come out ahead, especially the speed, so you took me right where I wanted to go, the 4.240 type of stuff, overvaluing the 40-yard dash time. Don't get caught up in that. Look for under draft position on these workout warriors. The young man you just mentioned right there, I don't care where he's projected now. Go back a week and a half and see where he's at there. That's the under you want to bet.
Right. And the thing is, they're all going to have these college pro days as well. They're going to run the same stuff. It just doesn't matter. It's the film, it's the tape, it's the interviews. To me, the interviews is way more important than anything that we watched on NFL Network this week.
When I saw, and then it gets into the weeds really quick, and they're just creating content. It's like, oh, this guy just did a shuttle run. Now we got to talk for 40 minutes. So be aware of that too. Well, that monster for Miami that had a great playoff. Their outside linebacker / rusher, his arms are too short. So he had a bad combine. I mean, his numbers are really good, and he's really fast. He's really strong, and he had a fantastic season and college career. But as far as a rush in the NFL, those arms need to be longer than that.
Now, I will say, and this is a stat that I think maybe we could pay a little more attention to, like linebacker Sonny Styles, Ohio State. He's already projected to be a top 10 pick.
He did have a good combine by all metrics.
He had a good combine, but one stat in particular, his vertical, 43.5 inches. I find like little stats like that important because at his position is the idea of having to jump and having to move and be, does that matter? And I think it does.
Yeah.
Now he's never going to be standing still and being able to jump 43.5 inches, but he's going to be in a position where he's going to have to make an impact play. Yeah. And it's going to involve jumping, right? So to me, that's important.
You're 100% right. And this is where you can find value in the Underwear Olympics. People have come around to, and isn't that crazy? A guy like that gets overlooked because he's at Ohio State.
Right.
He's surrounded by 2 or 3 other first rounders. So you kind of lose track of all these guys, and a person like that tests out well. And okay, so the NFL, there's a hierarchy. It goes quarterback, who protects quarterback, left tackle, and then the next highly most sought after players who gets after the quarterback, and that's Styles.
Yes.
So I do believe he increased his draft status quite a bit there.
Now, one thing too, like you were saying, kind of fade what you see from the combine and kind of how it's going to impact the draft. On the flip side, if you have a bad combine, don't get too over invested in my guy from Nebraska, like maybe an Emmett Johnson.
Yes.
Now he's completely tanked his stock. I think teams are still going to see who he is. They're going to talk to him. They're going to interview him. They're going to go to the pro. I mean, I think his scorecard, it's out of 8 points. He was graded a 6.10, which means good backup with the potential to be a starter.
Yeah, and this is one where you're talking about the interviews. He had a great interview to a national audience with NBC Sports, but his broad jump, he was like in the bottom 4. His 40 time was in the bottom 3.
It was bad.
It was really bad, but we knew that. That was why he wasn't just the overall starter even heading into this past season for the Huskers. He just didn't have the measurables on paper. Off paper, where it actually matters, he did, and he blossomed. But that does not mean that he's going to do not bet the under here with him being a day 2 type of a back. No, I'm still sticking to he's a round 4 or later. So bet the over on Emmett Johnson. And I'm not saying that to take a shot at Emmett Johnson. It's just the way the NFL, I would say, undervalues running backs. Yep. And just let's be honest. The kid from Notre Dame who got all those postseason awards are like, how does he keep winning all these awards? He did have a good
He had a great season.
Great season, but his combine.
His combine was awesome.
His combine was awesome. So you pair that with, he played for a contending team, a great team in Notre Dame last season. He got all those yards, all those, those type of things. But then also he has the measurables. He has the 40, the shuttle. His leap, I think, is top 4 as far as the standing vertical leap. So, and Emmett Johnson is just at the other end of it. He's 5'10", 200 pounds on a good day.
And to your point, because I love everything you just said, he is going to be a guy. He had to be at Nebraska. He'll have to prove himself on the field,
of course,
and prove that he's a difference maker. And he certainly is. I mean, we've seen it, and look what he did with this Nebraska offensive line. I mean, versus with Jeremiah Love, I think was that other running back.
Yes.
I mean, versus what he did with that awesome Notre Dame line. I mean, Johnson, that's why he's in this spot. So
Exactly.
he's going to be a spot. He's going to have to earn it again.
He's going to have to earn it, and it puts him in a comfortable position where you're not expecting too much. He's not going to be a day one or day two guy with all this pressure. He's going to not have to expected to step into a starting role. No, he just has to make the roster and pay his dues like he did at Nebraska. And I think that's a good spot for him to be.
Nothing wrong with that.
So don't overbet him, folks. I know I know that's where we like to go with it and support our guys, but just be careful when it comes to draft status. Heard the horn, that means we are up against it, but let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, they got you covered. Visit stockandrod.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
You know that wellness goal you set at the start of the year? It's not too late to stick with it and make your future self proud, especially with the all-in-one nutrition shake from Kachava. With 25 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, greens, adaptogens, and more. No fillers, no nonsense, just the highest quality ingredients. Stick with your wellness goals. Go to kachava.com and use code NEWS for 15% off. That's KACHAVA.com, code NEWS.
This is Andy Betterman of the local law firm Greenberg & Betterman. If you've been injured in an auto accident or through medical malpractice, we're here to help you in the District, Maryland, and Virginia. Get a free consultation by visiting gblawyers.com and feel better.
WTL.
This Saturday I will go on national television, live. I will say horrible things on the air, despicable things, and people will call me brave.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
The J.O.
The J.O. and Jeremy Odem. We got to get back into what really has become a cornerstone of the program, and that's prediction markets. We were way out in front of this, a year ago or two when we saw it developing. Well, we just looked into our crystal ball. We could see it. It's happening.
What they used to call Chris Berman with what do they call him?
The Swami?
Swami.
Yeah.
We've kind of taken that. We've kind of taken that from him. It's great because he's retiring.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal.
We're just sliding right in there.
Slide right in.
So whether it's Kalshi, whether it's Polymarket, Robinhood, we're going to give you some plays here. You just got to find the platform you're most comfortable with and where you can find the line, obviously, because these are trades. These aren't bets.
These are not bets.
These aren't. So we're staying up with the times here. I don't even know how you could confuse it with the bet. I mean, you're putting money down, and you're putting this money down and hoping one thing happens over another.
That doesn't sound like a bet at all.
No, it's just and you're placing this trade against somebody else. So
you're not even against the house.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a trade.
So how does the house make money?
They take a little bit. It's not a VIG. They don't take a vigorish. They take a fee.
Oh, a fee. Okay.
Don't get that confused with the VIG. So yeah, we got it.
We got this.
That's where we're at.
We're in a good place here.
We're not talking sports betting. We're talking prediction markets. So with that, I know you got one to start us off.
At the top of the show, we talked about my episode "Laugh with Me" talking about the Academy Awards.
Yes,
that is coming up March 15th.
Okay,
predicting there will be controversy on the red carpet.
Ooh,
so not on stage this time. You're not going to get Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's going to be controversy this year on the red carpet. It could be a protest. It could be a fight, but it's going to be enough to kind of halt the red carpet in order to get things settled and cleaned up. Now, here's why I'm thinking this. Okay. You would have thought that in this last week that the most important thing that anyone was talking about was the United States swarming Iran. But instead, the most polarizing thing out there was whether or not you watched Scream 7 or not, the new movie.
Oh, wow.
Have you seen that? Have you heard about this?
I've heard about this. I think I watched 5 or 6 or we watched like the 7th or 8th installment of I Know What You Did Last Summer. This time I mean it for real.
Yes.
And
love that one. I love that
Ashley and I couldn't even get through. We're like, oh my God. These kids are strangling themselves with a cordless phone.
Well, you would have thought that, having actual military action by the United States would be important, but no, people were pretty worked up by folks who actually went and saw Scream 7. I was one of them.
Okay, you're worked up.
So I think people are a little excited about the movies right now, and we're going to see it all come to head on March 15th.
It's going to boil over.
There you go.
There's going to be a halt on the red carpet.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. And that's kind of what that's all about, right? Tinseltown, the theatrics, and man, people get worked up.
Got to get people talking.
You got to get them talking.
Maybe Seth Rogen will be one of those guys in the mix. He's nominated. Maybe he'll get in the mix there. That would be cool.
Yeah, he is kind of like not a freedom fighter, but he's really good at telling you on X and other social media platforms just how important he is.
He is super important.
And his views.
Yes.
How righteous they are. And he's been on the right side of history every time, according to his X handle.
Nobody's had more correct views than a Hollywood actor.
That's true, especially from Canada that smokes a lot of pot.
There you go.
So I think you got a
slam
slam dunk
here. Yeah.
I think you got a slam dunk on that one. I will tell you, I saw the trailer. I think it was a day ago or so. I can't believe they're allowed to even do these anymore. But those the spoof movies of Scream.
Yeah, they're doing the new
Wayne
scary
Brothers,
movie.
Scary movie.
It's back.
That looked funny.
It looked.
I
hilarious.
have to admit that looked pretty gosh darn funny. So okay, I got a big one here, and it is talking politics. And it's from a couple of weeks ago, and you saw the outrage, you saw the upright. I just think it's the big cities in distant states, on the coast that help us along out in the Midwest and show us the way. We need leadership like we see from whether it be Los Angeles or New York, and this one I'm going to New York where with they always tie it back to something political, right?
Always.
So, okay, their new governor, Madami, he thinks it's racist or something to show your ID when you have to vote. Well, they got dumped, 7 feet of snow. And in order to get your snow shoveling permit, even to be a volunteer,
you show your ID?
You had to show 2 forms of ID.
Two forms.
So this is where it's going. If you want to vote, you just have to show your snow shoveling certificate, even if you're just volunteer status. So it's just like how these two parties go back and forth. They just reframe it.
Okay.
They just rename it. So no. In order to vote, you don't need to show your ID. You just need to show your volunteer snow scooper permit.
I love it. So it doesn't matter. We're always going to end up in the same place, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But depending on what side you're on is what way you want to go with it.
Yeah.
So it's either it's racist to ask for ID to vote, or it's okay.
It's
to
totally
ask you for
okay.
2 forms of ID to get your snow removal.
That's obviously
permit.
fine.
Yeah.
And then that's a volunteer position and this and that, and you're doing it on your own will to help the city.
Have you seen those guys scooping snow in the back of U-Hauls? Yeah. What? That snow, it's just going to melt back there.
New York showing us the way. Okay, they're up here. Nebraska's down here. Even snow removal, we got things to learn.
All trends, they always hit the coast first, right? And then it comes to us. Next winter, I swear we're gonna see people shoveling in the back of U-Hauls.
We're gonna show. I'm gonna have 4 forms of ID to get that U-Haul rented, and then to be like, I need some snow shovels here, pulling into Lowe's or Home Depot. They're going to know what's up. They're like, you're thinking about scooping some snow, aren't you? I'm like, don't worry about it. Here's my passport. Here's my checking IDs. So thank you, New York and their new governor, for our mayor of New York City showing us how it's done.
Well, no wonder the Bills had to get a new stadium with a roof. I mean, Imagine all those Bills fans needing to get 2 forms of ID to get their snow removal permit to help them out. Wild.
You'll have to get a permit to throw snowballs at the team after they score.
He was caught up in a snowball controversy, too, a week ago. Because people were throwing snowballs at the police, and and he's just like, that. It's okay. I mean, it's just all fun and games, and the other side obviously is calling for heads, over it. But he's like, I'm not going to arrest somebody for snowballs.
I will say the police didn't think it. They didn't appear to think it was fun and games.
Correct.
Getting pelted in the face by snowballs.
No.
So we'll tackle that maybe next year. Next time we go around. Hey, you got a permit for those snowballs?
That's amazing. Oh, man. Well, I'm going to bring it back to March just a little bit. Okay. Nebraska ball winning a championship. All right. They're looking at a 2 seed, a 3 seed seems most likely for March Madness.
Yeah.
Winning the titles currently sitting at like a calm down, but winning one game is now we're cooking. Okay. Question is, will Nebraska win one tournament game? I'm leaning.
You're saying no?
I'm leaning no, and
boo.
And I hate to be that guy, but it just feels like everything's building up to this massive moment,
right?
Everything is
like too much weight's being put on a 2 seed or a 3 seed.
And what Power 5 program would ever have that kind of pressure sitting as a 2 or 3 seed? And I couldn't be more nervous about it.
Okay, so you're reading all the hype about these mid-majors that we're trying to keep out of the tournament, aren't you?
Yeah.
My Billikens up there in St. Louis, Miami, Ohio, still working on undefeated season. We're like, should they really be in if they don't win the MAC?
How are they not in? That's so dumb.
You got to pay to play. I've come around to this capitalism kind of an idea. And if you're not in the Power 4 or Power 5, forget about it. What did Frank Solich say? Put up or shut up.
Put up or shut up.
Put up or shut up.
Frank Solich, he's quoted. He's the quote guy for that.
After they got just boat raced by Colorado and still made the national championship game, and people were asking him, just nailing him with questions. He finally said, "Yeah, put up or shut up. We're in the Big 12. We can lose game in the Big 12. Look at our resume, bro." So he might not have said bro. I might have added that.
I was gonna say that's quite the quote from him. I love it.
It's pretty good. We got a little bit of time. It's a little bit of a story, but I think I can get there.
Yeah.
All right. A recent headline, and we are the world police. We're the United States of America, and in order to be that and be in its fullest, you got to be able to look at other places in the world and take the good, take the positives, and learn from that. So this headline actually came out of Thailand, where the Thai police disguised as a lion dance performer, like a cartoon character, caught a burglar suspect. They had to go undercover and dress up as like a clown or whatever to catch this burglar. This is where Homeland Security or ICE needs to like soften up a little bit. So I'm thinking they're going to start going undercover more often in order to, rather than roll in there with all this gear and all the guns and this and that, but they're gonna dress up, go undercover, and just kind of finesse their way into some scenarios. And before you know what to happen, the sting's on and it's over.
So you're telling me if ICE would just go and participate in like The Masked Singer on Fox,
yes,
and just they were in the costume, they were singing, maybe one of them's a really good singer,
right?
Put on a great show.
Yep.
Jenny McCarthy's like, I don't know who it is. Who could it be? Is it
Freeze? ICE, get down.
Get down. You think that would go over better is what you're saying?
No, that's where the backlash is going to come. They think they're going to help themselves, but it's going to come back around like it always does.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, the mental picture I got was, Barney's coming back.
The dinosaur?
The dinosaur, yes. So he's going to be at a little birthday party, and, helicopter moms and all these moms with their cameras out, Can you imagine him singing Happy Birthday and the kids starting to tear into his presents? Then Barney goes, "Hey, kids, freeze! Get out on the ground. Drop your Paw Patrol."
It sounds like an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And I love every second of it. I just love it.
That is what it's.
Danny DeVito's the ICE agent.
Maybe that's it. They recruit.
I love that.
They recruit celebrities.
They got to get celebrities involved.
To crash parties.
And there's plenty of them that want to get involved. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So I think that's where we're heading. But ultimately, it will catch up with them, and the backlash might be worse. But anyway, you heard the horn. That means we're up against it. But right around the corner, we're going to be talking more March Madness in the Big East Tournament. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
WTL.
Capitalism is the only way, Leslie. It moves our country forward. It's what makes America great, and England okay, and France terrible.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
The J.O.
The J.O. And you know, Jeremy, you gotta get up on your soapbox, you know, and accept when we do things right, when we do things correct, when we bring people that value, that money, ultimately cashing in on some slips. How about the guys we're introducing as far as golf?
They're nail it, and they're nail it quick and fast and early in the season. It's pretty impressive.
So I think we're going to get him in studio here in a couple of weeks, maybe next week. But Talon Barber, the young man, has been throwing picks our way that we featured on X, our social media handles, also on, you just saw him on Tri-City ESPN on their Facebook page. He went 4 for 4. And if you tied that into a parlay at the Cognizant Classic, pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous that he was able to nail 4 picks. He even picked some twins in there.
Isn't that fun though?
Yeah.
You're just in one side you're just watching golf, you're enjoying golf, and the other side you're making money.
Yeah.
Like he's put the work in. It's certainly worth a follow.
Now he said Shane Lowry, he felt it in his bones that he was going to win, and he had a 3-stroke lead heading into the bear trap down there, heading into hole 16, and he just fell apart. First time in his career that he had back-to-back double bogeys. Still got second, but wow, what a collapse. And he also, our guy, Talon, said, let's back this off. Let's just say a top 10 finish. I'm not going to say bet on him to win outright, which, you know, that's pretty outlandish type of a thing to say on Wednesday. Yeah. On a Wednesday before a tournament. But still, top 10 finish, got second, should have got first.
So do you think he knew something? He knew that this guy was kind of shaky mentally.
He's Canadian.
Week? He's Canadian. Okay.
Or something like that.
Still upset about that hockey game then.
Maybe that's what it was.
It's gotta be.
Something was afoot there, but he did have a feeling that he was going to do well, and he did. But that also speaks to why that bear trap down there. And I don't want to play 16, 17, 18 either. So anyhow, I lose enough golf balls the way it is.
That's always part of the game for me is how many golf balls do I lose, you know?
Right.
I don't look to improve my swing. It's just how many golf balls do I lose?
Makes it too easy to shop for me for Christmas or my birthday. Just get me a sleeve of golf balls or a new box of balls because you know I'm in need.
You need them. Yep.
All right, so we talked about March. We got to get right back into it. Not March Madness, the NCAA tournament as a whole. We want to pump the brakes a little bit and hone in on the Big Ten tournament. That's going to be March 10th through the 15th in Chicago. It's heading back to the Windy City where Michigan is going to be your number 1 overall seed. There's going to be a lot of fanfare there. Nebraska, as of right now, is looking at that 2 seed, just due to Purdue and Illinois and the likes dropping a couple games here. Michigan State's climbing the ranks, which, once again, take our flowers. I think that was 3 weeks ago. We said, watch out for Michigan State.
I've seen a lot of people favoring them to win the conference tournament just because they are playing lights out right now.
Makes a lot of sense. They're slated in as the 3 seed in this tournament, so that means they're going to get, and this is where I want to focus on. First off, your top 4 seeds have such a huge advantage with that double bye. There's 3 tiers to this Big Ten tournament. You really have to pay attention to that because even if you like Purdue or you like Wisconsin, I get it. Me too. I love the Badgers and all that. Right now, they're slated for a 6 seed. That means they're only going to get 1 bye compared to Illinois, who's going to get back-to-back byes in this tournament. That's going to weigh huge. And this isn't one of those deals where, oh, yeah, but the team's hot and this and that. If I'm not going to get that double bye, I'm not really too worried about this tournament. Let's be honest. the tournament that matters is March Madness. So positioning, seeding here matters more in this tournament, maybe betting-wise, than even in March Madness, the NCAA tournament.
You know, if there was one bye, you could argue there's teams out there playing that they can get hot. There's something to being said about being on the court instead of in the hotel room, right? With the double bye, though, that means there's a lot of basketball being played. I mean, all 18 teams in the Big Ten are playing in this year. And that just means there's going to be wear and tear. I mean, it's a long tournament. So I love the idea of being able to take home that double bye, position yourself. You get past that first game, and then it's back to business. So I don't know. It just the getting hot doesn't matter in these longer tournaments.
At all. We've even heard it locally here where, is Hoiberg going to want to shut down Mast? Limit his minutes because this isn't the tournament that matters. It's the next one. Yeah. They're already – and what a fun place for Nebraska to be in. The conference tournament isn't you got to have a good run to make the NCAA tournament. Right. No, that's already been punched. Yep. You're already a 3 seed at worst, and a lot of things probably should be asking for that 2 seed. So this is a big point for me. Fade cold contenders. I'm looking right at Illinois right here. They've lost 4 of the last 6 games. The defense has dropped off, and also they're in a spot now where they cannot be worried about the Big Ten tournament. They need to be worried about getting right for the NCAA tournament. So
I think that's to your point. The Michigan. That's why they're not being the above and beyond favorite to win the conference tournament because they've won the regular season handedly.
Oh, yeah.
And they're positioning themselves to get ready as the 1 seed. I mean, that's where they're at. That's where their head's at.
Exactly. And Michigan State's on the other end of that where they're on a run. If they can keep this run going, now all of a sudden people are talking about them being a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. Ooh. And 2 weeks ago they had no business even talking like that.
That's going to be a dark horse to Final Four, or maybe win the whole freaking thing. Yeah. If they were to sneak up into a 3.
Just fantastic value. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Now there is a sweet spot for some value runs here because there are those teams that are quote unquote on the bubble, like Nebraska usually is in a good year. That 5 to 8 seed where they still get 1 bye, and then they get to play a team that's had to do that bunny bracket game. You could say, but needs these wins to up their status to ensure that they do make the NCAA bracket. So there's still a little bit of basketball to be played here, but those teams that are ranked between the 5 and 8 spots, let's see here. So that is your UCLA's, your Iowas, Ohio State. That's prime. Ohio State is prime for a team that's in the latter half of that's going to get a bye, but needs to increase their status for sure.
I mean, Iowa, take them for example. Every Big Ten team is playing 2 final regular season games this week and then before the conference tournament. But Iowa's playing Michigan, and then they're playing Nebraska at Nebraska to finish the season. I mean, you got to figure this is a team that not only wants to finish strong here in the regular season, but because of their seeding in the conference tournament, they need to win a few games just to try to sneak into the tournament. So,
exactly.
Yeah, this is a big spot for Iowa.
Yep. So don't pigeonhole yourself into Iowa or Ohio State. Let's let these couple of games finish themselves out, and we can reevaluate. I am going to give you my best bet, though.
Okay.
And it's all Big Red.
Oh.
Nebraska to reach the final.
Oh.
This is a value play. They only need 2 wins because they are getting that. You could call it a triple bye. As the 2 seed, on the other side, they're going to fade having to play Michigan. And, the triple bye, which we've already talked about with that. And they're also going to face a couple of tired opponents. That first game especially, a team that's probably played back-to-back games. So when you're talking about even value, this angle adds up. This isn't just a Nebraska homer saying that. This is me looking at the bracket, looking at where Nebraska's at. And also, no matter what, the Huskers cannot do enough to validate becoming a 2 seed in the actual tournament. And making the Big Ten final and then dropping a close game to probably Michigan would do just that.
And you can't tell me that place won't be packed with red.
Yeah.
So it's going to feel like a home game. And to your point, I mean, they're going to have the energy of a Husker basketball team who's never had before. So, I love that bet.
Yeah, and obviously the lines, a lot of lines haven't really come out yet, but I'm just looking at some projections here. Everything I'm reading up on this, everything I'm searching, I just love this. Nebraska to reach the final. I'm not overreaching here either. I'm not saying, they're going to run the table and win the Big Ten. No, I'm just saying they're going to reach that final, and they have a clear path being that slated 2 seed as they are right now.
Yeah, I'm still going to hang with, I think Michigan's going to win the conference tournament.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're the best team, and they're gonna do the sweep there of regular season and tournament. If they were to get beat, it could be in the semifinals of that Michigan State team. But
it could be.
I don't know. I like that Michigan, but I love Nebraska getting to the final. That's awesome.
Yep. And I'm just talking chalk. Yep. 1 versus 2 seed.
Exactly.
That's all there is to it. Don't overthink it.
No.
Boy, that should be like our tagline. Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it.
I like that.
Make it, because when you do that, it becomes fun.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Just let it happen. Let it happen. That could also be. Well, that'll about do it for us this week. We're out of time here at Where's the Line? But be sure to check us out on YouTube and over on our short videos, especially on game day for those each and every day picks, giving you the latest edge possible. We're also over on ESPN, Tri-City Radio, and their Facebook page, as well as X. Get those golf plays, right?
Oh, yes. Winners.
I know. Winners only.
Winners only, baby.
I know Talon's going to be coming with some picks this week once again. For Jeremy Odem, a.k.a. the J.O., I'm Andy Classen. Thank you for listening. This has been WTL.
You might not recognize his voice, but I bet you know my law firm. Greenberg & Betterman has helped accident victims in the District, Maryland, and Virginia for over 35 years. Get a free consultation by visiting gblawyers.com and feel better.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.